What's up? What's up? What's up? I'm gonna make it to where you can see my cutting board and the stove to make it easier for you guys. Chloe, can you hear me?
Chloe, you pushed your video off. It's on. It's just something's wrong with it. I'm gonna try another option.
So does everybody have all their ingredients?
I'm watching. I'm not cooking.
Got you. Salmon, your capers, your mustard. So, Chloe, you back on?
Yes.
All right. So, Chloe, make sure you got 3 saute pans or 3 pans.
How many he said?
3.
Okay.
So the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna season our salmon with a little bit of olive oil.
I can't see him.
Now you're hearing multiple companies, scientists say we're going to engineer a vaccine, and it's really spectacular. But
Let's season mine with a little bit of seasoned pepper.
To get by and get back to a functioning society.
There's some people who say, well, we don't have an HIV vaccine 40 years later.
A little bit of sea salt.
But people look at that and say, well, you have a lot of great minds to that. Is there a risk of that now? You say no.
Shut your mouth.
And then I'm gonna hit mine with just a little bit of the Mrs. Dash garlic and herb seasoning.
So what a vaccine really does is sort of trick the body.
So we're gonna put that to the side.
By the real virus and having the body produce.
You're gonna take your pan and go turn it on to medium heat.
The HIV virus doesn't excite that kind of immune response.
And you're gonna pan with a little bit of olive oil.
It attacks the immune cells, so it's created a whole different set of.
And just kind of whirl it around.
So I don't think
He going so fast, I'm just not even with it.
virus is necessary.
Sorry, I'll slow down a little bit. So we're gonna season our salmon. I put pepper, sea salt, and then whatever else you like. I like garlic and herb seasoning, so I put a little bit of garlic and herb.
I guess the government stimulus checks are going out, but for some factors, the state already in place. And Michigan's governor facing protests and lawsuits tonight will restrict the stay-at-home guidelines. Michigan governor.
And then once you get that,
You putting this in the skillet and not in the oven. Let me ask you that.
we're gonna sear it on the stove first, and then we're gonna put it in the oven.
Got you. So you put olive oil on it, and you said what else?
I put for you probably black pepper or whatever season. I like seasoned pepper, the sea salt, and a little bit of garlic and herb seasoning.
Okay. And then you put olive oil.
Yep, just to kind of make sure it kind of sticks. So this is what it looks like right here.
Okay.
And so I still have the skin on mine, so you can season both sides if you have skin off. But you want to make sure that seasoning sticks to your salmon. And then once you get that seasoned, we're going to take our skillet, a little bit of olive oil, and turn it on medium heat. What's going on, TJ? You all right, Chloe? You keep it up? Is your pan hot, Chloe? I can't hear you. All right, now we're gonna lay our salmon in our pan. And make sure anytime you're putting it into the pan, you want to put it away from yourself. So if it splashes, it splashes away from you and not on you. So we're gonna sit that on the stove.
So how long are we gonna saute it?
It depends on the size. We're looking for just a nice golden brown crust.
I can't hear him.
Can you hear me now?
Move, Jalay.
So we're just looking for a nice golden brown crust.
Yeah.
And now we're gonna start making our.
For how long? I'm sorry, I still can't hear you.
Is that better?
Because I can't hear.
So now we're gonna make our grainy mustard. So a little bit of whole grain mustard.
Okay, so I think I'm lost. I'm not with you.
Where you at?
Because I can barely hear you. I don't even know what's going on right now.
Let me see if I can turn my sound up for you. Can you hear me better now?
No, I can't. I mean, like, you're faded. I can't even hear you. At first, I could hear you fine, but I can't hear you now.
How about now?
Nikki, turn your volume up. Is your volume up? You know what? Hold on. Let me see. I think I know what I do. Hold on. Okay. Good. Yeah, I can hear now.
Can you hear me now?
So, okay, so you said you're sauteing the salmon for how long?
Like I said, just depending on size, we're just looking for a nice golden brown on the top side.
Okay, and then you put it back in the pan, and then we'll put this in the oven. Now what are you doing?
So now what we didn't put it in the oven yet. We're still searing. We're still searing our salmon. We're just looking for that nice golden brown color. So I'm not quite there yet. I'm gonna do mine for about another 3 or 4 minutes.
Okay. Then what are we doing with the mustard, and we're just going to do something else?
So now we're gonna take our whole grain mustard, our capers, and we're gonna make our crust for the salmon to put on top before we put it in the oven. So I took a little bit of the whole grain mustard. Now putting the capers with the juice. In a bowl, we're gonna mix it.
So just the capers and the mustard, you're just putting in the bowl right now.
Yep, and we're gonna you have your parsley? If you have your parsley, we're gonna chop up a little bit of parsley as well.
The mixing bowl. I'm trying to get all these sauteed first. Hold on. Thank you. No,
So, like I said, we're gonna take the whole grain mustard, the capers with the juice, because we want that acidity and a little bit of tang. And now we're chopping parsley.
yeah, here. Give me the
We're gonna put our parsley right in here. And then I'm gonna cut off.
So how much of this capers are we putting in there?
I would say probably like for how many, depending on how many salmon, 10 to 12 buds, and just a teaspoon of the actual liquid.
Oh Lord.
There's no wrong.
12 per bud. I mean per salmon.
Yes, ma'am. So,
Okay.
And I add a little bit of lemon and chopped parsley. Can you see?
A little bit. You're moving fast. I got 4 salmons I'm trying to cook at the same time, so that's why.
Got you.
You only doing 1. I'm doing 4.
Okay, well, I can help you through it. So now that we got that nice golden brown color.
Oh, Lord. I can't. I can't even keep up.
Yes, you can. I'm still gonna walk you through it. We're gonna take our salmon. We're gonna make a nice, beautiful crust.
Hold on. No, I didn't say
And once that's done, we're gonna throw it in the oven. About 10 to 15
So
minutes.
did you put anything on the salmon before you put it in the oven?
No, just the seasoning we put in the bowl. And then once you flip it, we're gonna put our caper mustard crust on top of it.
Nothing. I just can't keep up right now.
You okay? Put your phone over your, let me see what you're looking like.
I'm still sauteing my,
Turn your camera on.
Ashley, I set it to 375.
Oh, shit.
So let me see your salmon, Chloe.
Can you see?
Yeah.
Can you see those?
Yep. So you're doing fine. Once you get that 4-piece in, we're just gonna put the crust on top of it and throw it in the oven.
Okay.
So you're all right. I'm gonna slow down for you.
Okay, so now, how much mustard?
I would say probably about 2 tablespoons per.
2 tablespoons per.
Salmon, yes, ma'am. And those at home who bought the cauliflower rice, I usually like 2 different brands. This one right here is something I use in a hurry. It's a little quicker, easier to saute. You can even throw it in the oven. And then this was more of a raw product. That's what we're going to use today. Cooks a little bit longer, but has better flavor and better texture. So depending on how much time you have, this is for a longer time period, and this is for something quick. So just depending on whatever the cauliflower. I'm just talking about cauliflower rice while you're catching up. No rush.
Jalea, hand me my knife. So I can cut the parsley. Thank you. No, this one. No, I don't need nothing else on that. So.
You still cutting parsley?
So do these capers, do they supposed to be smushed up or just whole?
We're gonna leave them whole.
Okay.
I'm gonna keep cutting a little bit more parsley while I wait on you. What's going on, Facebook Live group? If you're tuning in, we're doing a grainy mustard and caper crusted salmon. We're gonna do lemon asparagus and cauliflower rice. And for those at home who are cutting your parsley, And we get ready to cut the onion. It's very important to make sure you have a sharp knife. The sharper the knife, the more safe you'll be. Chloe, you get those salmon in the oven yet?
So do we put this this mix on top of the salmon?
Yep. You're gonna put it on the top side that we seared already.
Okay, and then put it in the oven. 350.
That's fine. 350. You can do it for about 15 to 20 minutes, or depending on the temperature you like to eat your salmon at.
Okay. And then we just put it on top of it.
Yep.
Let me open the oven for you. Place the oven on.
Yes.
If you notice, I washed my hands.
So the next step
Yeah, I
is,
noticed. You wash your hands.
Chloe, get them in the oven. We're gonna cut our onion. We're gonna julienne the onion, which basically means that we're gonna cut very thin strips of our onion so we can put it in the saute pan. So we're gonna peel the onion, cut the cores off, and then we're gonna make very thin cuts. So when we get done, should be just as thin as you can go.
Oh, baby. No, I got it.
Teal, you still on?
Yes, I'm here, Ken.
Are you cooking as well?
I am not cooking. I am watching and listening.
Okay. Why you not cooking tonight?
Didn't feel like it, to be honest with you. I had a salad.
Understood. All right, Chloe, we in the oven yet?
Okay, I'm in the oven.
And that's Nikki Ken, one of our clients.
Okay.
That's talking to you. It's not Chloe. She's still on too.
Okay. All right, Nikki. So now we're gonna cut our onion.
Okay.
So cut the ends off. Cut it down the middle.
Okay.
And so if you're cutting a whole, it'll be just like this. So we're gonna cut the core off on both sides. Are you with me?
I'm with you.
Okay. We're gonna cut it down the middle. We're gonna peel the outer layer off. And for those at home who cut onions and you start to tear up a little bit, once again, it's very important to have a sharp knife.
Watch out.
Can I cut up the onion?
Mm-mm.
The cut of onion.
Oh, the julienne? My bad, Omar. Sorry, chef. So once we get the onion in half like this, we're gonna lay the cut side down. Nikki?
Okay, ready?
We're hearing all the background noise.
Say it again.
I said, would you mute yourself until you have a specific question? Just want to make sure everybody else can hear also.
Okay.
Reed, we're gonna get you right, baby girl. We're gonna get you right, Reed. All right, Nikki, you caught it? Ready? Whoever's keeping up with me, you can turn your phone on so I can hear you. All right, so once again, we're gonna do small, fine strips, which are called julienne. And then you got a sharp knife. You can actually start cutting. And then all your onions will be beautiful and separate.
Reset.
So now we're gonna take our next saute pan. Hit a little bit of olive oil. And we're gonna add our onions to it. And we're gonna cook this for about 6 to 8 minutes until they become translucent or soft. And then we'll add our garlic to it. How are we looking, Nikki?
I'm with you.
Okay. We got the onions in the pan.
I'm putting them in now.
Perfect. And once again, we're gonna do medium heat, 6 to 8 minutes. Got them on the stove?
Yep,
All right. Got your asparagus?
I do.
All right, we're gonna take that.
No, that's fair.
Now, depending on the quality of asparagus, and right now with the times, they're not looking that great, we're gonna cut up about 1 to 2 inches up the stalk and get rid of that core.
In half?
No, ma'am. So you see, I just cut about 1 inch up the stalk to get. That's what we're gonna discard. This has that chalky, woody flavor that's really not edible. So we're gonna take that and throw it away. Then you should be left with your beautiful spears. So we're gonna take that. We're gonna put that in our third saute pan. Get a little bit of olive oil. We're gonna cut our lemon in half. We're gonna squeeze the fresh lemon juice over the asparagus. And you're gonna drop it right in there.
A whole lemon? I mean, a half of a lemon cut in half?
Yep. And squeeze the juice right over there.
Yes, I understand.
And then once you do that, we're gonna take that asparagus and hit it with pepper to season it. And a little bit of our sea salt. Or if you have kosher salt at home, kosher salt works just as well.
Just one lemon?
Yes, ma'am. Well, you're the one feeding 4, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, 1 lemon would be fine. And then just toss it in the pan and we're gonna throw this in the oven. We're gonna roast it.
We're going to throw what in there?
Your asparagus. How your onions looking?
They coming along.
Okay. Like I said, we don't want too much color on them. So if we start seeing them brown a little bit, let's turn the oven, turn your stove down.
You said we want them brown or we don't want them brown?
We don't want any color right now. We just want just nice, translucent, and soft.
I still got to catch up with this cherry.
I'm trying.
But you're cooking like a chef, not like you're teaching us how to cook.
All right, so have you cut the core off the asparagus yet? Nikki? I'm here.
So you said olive oil and then the asparagus and then the lemon and put it in the oven?
Don't forget your salt and pepper as well. Hey guys. So let's look at these onions. Like I said, we don't want color on them. And depending on your preference, like I said, we want translucent and soft. Now we add a little bit of garlic. And for me and my family, we love garlic, so we're gonna do like a heaping tablespoon.
And what else went in there with the asparagus you said?
We did olive oil, lemon juice, and then salt and pepper. Maybe just a touch more. Can't go wrong. So everybody can't flip, so just make sure you have your wooden spoon or spatula. Just gonna mix it around. And so we're gonna cook this about another 2 minutes until that garlic is fragrant. That means you smell the garlic cooking.
Is fresh garlic or pre-mixed garlic better?
Fresh garlic is always the best, but it's easier to buy by the bulk, and if you cook for large families, you don't want to cut that much garlic. All right, Nikki. So now I took those onions and I added about a tablespoon of garlic.
The minced garlic?
Yes, ma'am.
Was that what the garlic, you said garlic was minced garlic put in the asparagus or not?
If you like, I don't mind. I put it on everything, but it was just for this cauliflower rice.
Okay, that's all I need to know.
So let me know when you're ready to add the garlic.
I already had it. You told me to add it, right?
Yep, okay, perfect. So now we're gonna cut a little bit more parsley to add to our onion and garlic mixture. So take your bunch of parsley, grab as much as you can hand in your hand, and we're gonna cut, like I said, once again, very thin strips. It makes it easier to chop.
That smells just like onion.
And once again, I'll always reference that the key to success in the kitchen is a very sharp knife. Not only is it safer, but it's less work. If you have to use any force when using your knife, it's dull and you need to sharpen it. Or even replace it. So real quick, when we talk about cutting, the easiest way for me is I take the blade of the knife and putting it against my knuckles. So that way my finger will never be under the blade and I have a guideline. So this is what it looks like to you guys there, and this way. So I just take my fingers, I roll them over, put the knife here, and I use that as a guideline. So once again, I won't cut myself. That's all I'm doing over here.
I'm hard on it. Is there anything you can use to not have your cutting board slip at home?
I would say a towel. They make cutting mats, Omar. I know a lot of home cooking don't have that, so just a damp towel under your cutting board help for sliding. Great question. Well, so I'm gonna take my chopped parsley and add it to my our garlic and onions.
Yeah. I would like to learn that one part.
And next, we're gonna add our cauliflower rice. Some cauliflower rice and a little more olive oil. Hey Reed, if you're still with me, we'll cook that for about 6 to 8 minutes until the cauliflower is tender. How you doing, Nikki?
I'm with you.
Perfect. You got the parsley in there with the onions?
Yep.
Did you add the cauliflower rice yet?
Yes.
Nice, okay. So now I add just a little more oil. And like I said, we're cooking for 6 to 8 minutes until tender. And just a slight bite. Not mushy, not over hard, but just great texture. So now, Nikki, we're gonna check our salmon right now. When you pull it out, the crust should be starting to harden. Still a little moisture there. So if it's still kind of wet, we're checking the salmon and checking that crust. And like I said, we want to make sure that it's starting to harden and kind of get a golden brown color. If it's still wet, you want to turn your oven up, or you put it on the broiler just to get some heat to the top of the salmon. So right now the temperature is good. So I'm gonna take mine and I'm gonna put it on the broiler for about 30 seconds just to kind of give it a color.
Reed said I need to master that flip of the wrist.
Reed, that salmon probably in for about 15 minutes. Nikki, how's your salmon look, darling?
It looks good.
How's that crust? Is it still kind of moist?
Yes.
Okay, so either we're going to turn your oven up a little bit to about 400, or you can even turn it on the broiler setting and just let that cook for about a minute. So now that I pull my cauliflower rice off, we're going to season that. Seasoned pepper, black pepper.
I want this whole thing.
My sea salt. And then I'm going to add some dried oregano and basil. Just whatever you like, your preference. If you like spice, if you want to add a little heat to it, you can add some crushed red pepper. And we're going to slowly cook this for about another 8 minutes. So Nikki, once you check your salmon, put that broiler on, we're going to season our cauliflower rice.
Yep, I'm with you.
And then after you season your cauliflower rice, we're going to check our asparagus. Depending on the size of the asparagus, it should be started to get a brown color to it. It should be starting to soften a little bit, still have a little bit of crunch to it. So if you can still snap it in half, that's not exactly what we want. We want to cook it a little bit longer. So at this point, I'm going to say about 3 minutes, 3 to 4 minutes. Here's that salmon with that golden brown crust. So now the salmon is done. We're going to pull it out and just let it rest. Hey everybody, thanks for joining. Turn it on. Nikki, let me see what your rice looks like. Did you add some chopped parsley in there?
A little bit.
Let's add some more. Let's get some green color in there. All right, my Facebook people. Let's see what we got going on over here. Like I said, the cauliflower rice is right here. And we're just cooking. You start smelling that garlic, that fresh parsley. Should have some color to it. Starting to soften up a little bit. And then over here, here's our salmon. With that nice crust. Like I said, you want a golden brown color. Salmon is white all the way through. A little more than I like to cook it myself, but for the sake of everybody else, I'm pretty sure y'all like well done salmon, which is gross, but. So now we're gonna check our asparagus. As I mentioned, you want to start seeing some brown color on there. Get a little roast. The tips will start to brown. And once you squeeze it, you want to still a little bit of give, but you don't want mushy, gross asparagus. So I'm going to go about 1 more minute. And then we'll start plating shortly, guys. Reed, where you at? You still with me, Reed?
You like it? Yeah, I do.
So Nikki, once you start getting a little bit of color on your cauliflower rice, we start tasting it. See if it's seasoned to your liking. Like I said, we want a little bit of bite on our cauliflower rice, but we don't want mush and we don't want hard rocks. So once it's to your liking, start turning it down to low heat. And we'll just let it sit. It's gonna be great. And then on your salmon, we're just looking for that golden brown color on top. The salmon should be white. Let me just cook all the way through. And then I'm gonna go ahead and pull my asparagus out because I like my asparagus with nutrients left. I don't like it overcooked. So, like I said, check your asparagus. You want to have a little bit of give, but a little bit of firm texture behind it. Reed, I will post this and tag you in it so you can catch up again for those who missed everything. Like, we will do this cooking class every Wednesday. I will post the shopping list on Monday, so it gives us 2 days to get ahead. And now we will start the plating process. How you looking, Nikki?
I'm good.
How's your asparagus? Let me see your asparagus.
I get it.
That looks so good.
Can you say yes?
Smells amazing. Got fresh garlic. Those julienne onions that we all prepare together. Fresh parsley, seasoned pepper, black pepper, sea salt. A great healthy base for our starch. So now we'll take about 2 spoonfuls, maybe 3, depends on how we're feeling. We just did a fake fitness workout, so we're gonna kind of load up in the middle of the plate. Remember, keep a towel handy or hot hands or your oven mitts because everything just came out of the oven. We're gonna take about 5 to 6 asparagus spears. We're gonna lay it right in the middle on top of the rice.
Presentation.
And then we're gonna take the star of the dish, that beautiful piece of salmon. Mine's more like a side. And we're gonna lay it right on top.
Omar said, what can we do to look as good as you cooking? Asking
Oh,
for
man.
a friend.
Bourbon, buddy. Then we'll take a little bit of olive oil. Just drizzle around the plate and over the salmon. And then a little bit of fresh parsley. And then that's what we have.
Voila.
And I know it was a little bit fast today, guys, so thank you for your patience. And as we continue to work together, we'll get it down pat to where we're all on the same page. Nikki, thank you for being my live spokesperson today.
Sorry.
Oh, no, it's amazing. I needed it. Thank you. Hey, Till, you will be cooking next week, darling.
Yes, I will be cooking
You
next
will be
week.
cooking next week, yes, ma'am.
I will. I'm a little disappointed that I missed out today now looking at that plate.
But we'll try. And as we get more cooking classes under our belt, we'll get progressively harder. So we can kind of elevate our game, and we can all be
I am here for it.
preparing restaurant quality meals at home during this pandemic. So once again, thank y'all, and we'll try to keep it under 45 minutes next time. I know I went a little fast, but we'll get better. So thank you. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
And Chef Ken is
Thank
out.
you.